Welcome. I'm D'Lo Jordan, and this is VENUM. Welcome to The Void. This is episode 46. On this episode, I'm talking all Elite Wrestling, AEW, Wednesday Night Dynamite from February 16th, 2022. Now, this huge story broke this week. It kind of surpassed anything that happened on this show. Cody Rhodes and Brandi Rhodes have quit AEW. They have quit All Elite Wrestling. They are no longer with the company. I'm going to talk about it. Check the description below this video. There you'll find links to my full network. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so, and click that bell to enable notifications. It's the only way to be notified when a new video is uploaded. Right, so Cody and Brandi have quit All Elite Wrestling. Both sides were not able to come to terms on a new contract agreement, so Cody and Brandi walked. So this was confirmed earlier this week. It's been a fluid story all week, basically. New updates coming out virtually daily. Here is what I know. AEW, Tony Khan, Cody, and Brandi Rhodes have all issued official statements, which can be found on their verified Twitter accounts. I'm not going to read that stuff out here. Who's got that kind of time? So I reached out to a source in AEW, somebody that works backstage in AEW. And don't take this as gospel, because I haven't been backstage in AEW. So what I'm about to share is basically hearsay, right? I've heard from one person, and so if that person's making stuff up, then, you know, this is all irrelevant. But apparently the majority of people backstage or that work for AEW, apparently majority of people didn't like Brandi Rhodes, and they're all glad she's gone. They have responded positively to the news that Brandi Rhodes is no longer there. Now, there is, I'd say, two handfuls of people that will go on, you know, they'll put out a positive statement publicly about Brandi Rhodes and what she did personally to help them. And, you know, that's fine. This is just kind of interesting. I thought I should mention it. Although, once again, do not take this as gospel. Take it with a pinch of salt, whatever. I don't know the validity of this claim. There's also rampant, I think some people are reporting this. Memos are out. There is rampant speculation that Cody Rhodes is in fact shown interest in going to WWE. So that is curious and interesting for a number of reasons, right? Cody was always the one, oh, this is the revolution, this is the alternative, you know. He was always the one in front to take shots at WWE. Now, not only has he left AEW after his first contract, only spanning 3 years, right? But also, there's speculation that he's going to WWE. If that happened, my God, how could you believe anything anyone says after that in AEW? You know, he seemed like the diehard. He was going to be there for life. So this is huge. This is huge. And who knows what this means for the future of All Elite Wrestling in terms of morale, talent, strategy going forward, and also what this means for WWE. I mean, nothing's really going to change with WWE. We all know that at this point. But, you know, what's the future for Cody? And not only for Cody Rhodes, but what's the future of the Go Big show on TBS or TNT, and he and Brandi have a reality show. What is the future for these properties? We'll have to wait and see. But switching gears, let's talk about AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite from February 16th, 2022. The show went on air. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. They were live from Nashville, Tennessee. wasting no time, immediately they cut to the ring. CM Punk is sitting in the middle of the ring, cross-legged style, and he's got a little box, a little package in front of him. Punk began speaking. He began to speak. He eventually made his way to announcing the time, place, and stipulation for his match with MJF, which he won the rights to last week in the tag match with Moxley versus FTR. He said it'll be in Orlando at the Revolution pay-per-view, and it's going to be a dog collar match. And then he opens the little box in front of him and pulls out a very BDSM-looking dog collar. So I don't know. Hopefully they have more of a violence dog collar match instead of this kinky-looking stuff. I don't know. Punk then invited MJF to come out because what he had to say next, he wanted to say directly to MJF's face. Right? So MJF came out and Punk said his piece and MJF raised the microphone like he was going to respond, and then he just dropped it and left without saying anything. And that was that. That was that. This whole opening segment came in under 9 minutes and is serving to advance what I think is the best little story they got going in the whole company. The CM Punk MJF saga, if you will. I swear it's one of the only reasons to tune into this program on Wednesday nights. So nice little advancement. They didn't take up too much time. They got out of there before it dragged on too long. So cool. Next, Tony Schiavone is backstage somewhere with the Jurassic Experience and Christian Cage. They were standing in front of what looked like a crappy attempt at street art. I don't know what that structure was behind them. Tony Schiavone just proceeded to announce a triple threat tag match at Revolution for the tag titles. Just a triple threat match for no reason, out of nowhere. Why are we just ahead of time saying, oh, we'll just do a triple threat match? So that way the champions are just at this unnatural, abnormal disadvantage. And for no reason. You know, it's not like you got two top tag teams that are vying and jockeying for position, and neither one is really coming out as the single number one contender. So now we got to push both of them into a triple threat match against the tag. That's not the story here. They're just going, whoop, pull the triple threat out of my ass. So that I felt like that was weird, contrived. Didn't make a whole lot of sense. Then Tony, so on top of, it's a triple threat tag team at triple threat tag match at Revolution for the titles. Tony then announced 2 tag team battle royals over the next 2 weeks to determine the 2 teams that are going to be in the 3-way match. That's just like, who came up with this? Who came up with this concept? First of all, after the first battle royal tag match, who's going to be in the second one? The same people? Like, what is any of this? What is any of this? I'm sitting here thinking, why not just do 1 tag team battle royal and have a regular match at the pay-per-view, 2-on-2? Like, what's all this? Why are they predetermining a 3-way when we don't even know who's going to be involved or what the issue is? Jungle Boy said, after Tony mentioned that, Jungle Boy said, he likes 3-ways or whatever. And then the segment ended. I think Christian said something too. Back in the arena, Bryan Danielson made his entrance. He came out. Then his opponent was out second, Lee Moriarty. Question mark. Lee Moriarty. I don't know. Lee Moriarty walked out with a mask on for reasons, and then he immediately takes it off and then kind of walks to the ring Pepe holding the mask in his hand. What? Moriarty got in the ring and took his shirt off while still holding the mask. It's like, what? This was weird. The freaking guy is wearing a wrestling singlet that he starts off with the straps already down. So what's he going to do when he fires up? Is he going to finish putting on the singlet properly and put the straps over his, like, right? So Lee Moriarty is this, I assume younger in actual age, talent that's been working the independent scene, right? And doesn't seem to have a personality. We haven't heard him talk or deliver an interview, so I assume that's because he can't, because if he could, they'd want to show that off. So he's just another technically sound guy that just can wrestle. And it's like, yeah, we've got a truckload of them. You got your Daniel Garcias and your whoever the hell else is that just, can come out and wrestle and has never said a single word that has drawn anyone into their personality or made, captivated an audience and made them pay attention. So this match got underway and it was good because it was a Daniel Bryan match. It was pretty hard for a match involving Bryan Danielson to not be good. And most of the good stuff, Lee Moriarty wasn't a broomstick, he held up his end of the deal, but Danielson was just, my God, he was wicked. There was this one, at one point, he kind of snatched Lee Moriarty over top the middle rope and had him hanging there, and then delivered a knee strike to the side of the guy's face. And I'm just like, okay, so the story here is Danielson's trying to introduce this guy to violence. I'm like, okay, well, that's the way to do it. So Danielson was good here, above and beyond, and he eventually won with the triangle hold, sporting the double biceps. And the match went about 12 minutes. So, and that was that. Post-match, Bryan beckons, he just beckoned a microphone and somebody handed it to him, and then he started speaking. He demanded an answer from Jon Moxley. I'm sorry. Jon Moxley. What a crazy way to introduce that guy. Might have just destroyed my vocal cords. Right, so Danielson demands an answer from Jon Moxley. Next thing you know, out comes Jon Moxley, right? Danielson was wanting to know, hey, we're going to team up or what? We're going to make this thing a reality. So Moxley made his way to the ring. I guess Danielson had dropped the mic on the ground. Moxley picks it up off the floor, and then he started monologuing. Moxley took about 20 minutes just to say, I'm not saying yes, but I'm not saying no. He's like, if I'm going to team with somebody, I have to have bled with them first or whatever. So he's a nut. He's talking about all this stuff about I only drink blood and all this nonsense. And it's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. No one, I don't know if no one, but I don't believe a single word that comes out this guy's mouth. It's always just over the top and unrealistic. And it's like, all right, whatever. So he says, I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no. And then he just walks out. And that was that. And that was that. After that, Keith Lee had a brief interview. Kind of like a video package. They were playing B-roll from last week. And Keith Lee was delivering an interview. This to follow up on his amazing debut last week. Keith Lee sounds like a tremendously proper, intelligent European gentleman who just delivers lines like he is reading a child's fairy tale book, and his voice is calm and doesn't really deviate in tone. Like, you look at this guy, Keith Lee, talking, and you're like, those words in that tone is coming out of that face? The hell's going on here? What is going on? But, it's his thing. I don't know. So after that, we were back in the arena for Wardlow making his entrance. Wardlow made his entrance. He came out. He was accompanied by Shawn Spears again. His opponent was out second. It was Max Caster, who was accompanied by Anthony Bowens. Caster did a rap. I didn't think it was that good. Standard stuff. There wasn't, I can't remember a standout, oh, he got him line. It was just kind of standard stuff. So the match gets underway, and throughout this thing, Anthony Bowens was interfering and, helping out his dude, but Shawn Spears would never help Wardlow, right? He just let Wardlow be. And so it was basically, 2-on-1 disadvantage with the man advantage on the outside. Whatever. Eventually, Wardlow won after 3 power bombs and, pinned Caster with his foot on his chest. Post-match, Anthony Bowens jumped Wardlow, but Wardlow quickly turned it around and gave Bowens a power bomb. And then the usual Shawn Spears slides in with a steel chair, attacks the guy, and Wardlow's perturbed by this because Shawn Spears is stealing his spotlight. The Powerbomb Symphony, building up to that, has been favorable. It's been received favorably by, the audiences in the building, and people seem to be into it. I'm so done with Powerbomb Symphony, pins the guy with his foot on his chest, Shawn Spears rolls in and attacks the guy. They just keep doing the same shit over and over. And I'm ready for something new. I'm ready for something new. Or at least just take a week off. Don't do this Wardlow match for try to make it new again. I'm just over it. I'm just over it, past it. I'm so over it, I'm no longer really paying attention to what the story is. So, the pudding has been over-egged. Or in a better analogy, in terms of this Wardlow storyline, that horse already left the barn. The barn has burned to the ground, and they have paved a parking lot over the top of where it once stood. So after this, Tony Schiavone is backstage with Britt Baker, Mercedes Martinez, and the other 2 goons, Jamie Hayter and Rebel Not Reba, Reba Not Rebel, whoever. The rest of the gang. Mercedes Martinez has a no DQ match, or I've written here a no DM match. Don't DM me on Twitter match. No, she's having a no DQ match with Thunder Rosa later on tonight, and Britt Baker is trying to make sure Mercedes Martinez is going to get the job done. Right? Whatever nonsense. Because now they've just rewritten history, and it's Britt Baker that's brought in Mercedes Martinez. Forget about Jade Cargill. Erase. So, Britt's insisting on Mercedes getting the job done. Mercedes says, "Oh, all right, I guess I'll go out there and murder a bitch." Suddenly, Martin Cove, the actor who plays Sensei Kreese, or did play it in Karate Kid and currently plays it on the Netflix series Cobra Kai, he walks in, Sensei Kreese, and he says, Britt Baker asks him for advice, and he says, if Mercedes Martinez doesn't get the job done tonight, finish her, no mercy. I've written here, what the actual fuck is going on? They're just, hey, let's just bring in a celebrity actor and just out of nowhere. It's like, what is the relationship I don't know. It was nice to see Sensei Kreese. Whatever. No mercy. That's the Cobra Kai way. Strike first and all this nonsense. I watched Cobra Kai. I'm up to date on Cobra Kai, so I didn't mind the cameo. It was just strange. It's like, where's this coming from? So we go from that interview. Tony Schiavone, Britt Baker, Mercedes Martinez, the whole gang's there. We cut from that back in the arena. Tony Schiavone, who was just conducting the Britt Baker interview, is now in the middle of the ring introducing Adam Hangman Page. And it's like, format the show. I know that segment was taped earlier in the back, but like, my God, just visually, it's like, whoa, Schiavone's teleporting. Like, come on, make the show feel live. What are they doing? So Schiavone's out there. He introduces Adam Hangman Page, the AEW Intercontinental Champion. He comes out for an interview. Tony asked him some shit, and Page went to respond and said about 2 to 4 words, and he's interrupted. It's like, oh my God, why can't any point be made in any interview? Why can't anybody get any point across before they're just quickly interrupted by somebody else? It's nonsense. He's interrupted by a voice on a microphone. Adam Cole just walks out with the live mic, and it's like, Adam and Adam had a verbal back and forth, and then, I guess they've got some history. They were in Ring of Honor together or whatever. So they both said their piece, and then Cole went to leave. As he's walking up the ramp, Fish and O'Reilly slid in the ring and jumped Page from behind. And then Cole came back down and joined in. 3-on-1 assault. I'm into Red Dragon. I like them as a tag team. Chemistry off the charts, and for good reason. They've been around each other for many, many years. They just vanished off television for I don't know how long, and then they just phased back in out of nowhere, And it's like, whatever. So they're 3-on-1, beating down Adam Page, the AEW Intercontinental Champion, when a bunch of security that it's like, so they do have security? They do have a security force? Like, why is this the first time I'm ever seeing like security run out to try to stop anything? Security runs out. They stop the beatdown. Then the Dark Order ran out, and they were the force that chased off Red Dragon and Adam Cole, right? Then they get a shot back of the ring, and for absolutely no reason, one of the Dark Order is just gone crazy, and he's attacking security guards. For what? For what? For coming out there and doing their job? What was this? I've written here, so this was as fake as it gets. Unprovoked. It's not like the security guard was doing anything to the Dark Order. It's just this is so weird. This is so weird. It's just like stuff happens. Stuff happens. Yeah, but what's the reason? Oh, no, just stuff happens. Just digest this meaningless content because it has no meaning, because you can't explain it. You can't say, oh, well, clearly he's attacking these people because they treated him unfairly. No, he just started attacking these people that were out there doing their jobs for no tangible reason. And then apparently there's going to be a match on Rampage that I ain't watching because I don't watch Rampage. So this was complete nonsense. After that, there's a video package for Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara for the TNT title in the main event. It was what it was. Then we cut back to the arena. Chris Jericho and Jake Hager, they made their entrance. They came out to Judas, sing along from the people. The crowd was pretty into everything all night. They just come to watch the wrestling, I guess, and I don't know if they're paying attention to all this illogical stuff. I think they just skirt by that and appreciate AEW for what it is. Santana and Ortiz were out second, and just like, God almighty, their face paint is distracting. And then, they've got the face paint, and then they look like house painters. They look like plumbers or house painters, and then their face. It's just like, can you guys find a different look? Before the match got started, Eddie Kingston came out. He makes his return from where has he been? He disappeared along with Red Dragon. So he came out and got in Santana and Ortiz's corner. Fist bumped him, whatever. Santana and Ortiz, they both look great physically. You could tell they've been putting in time in the gym, and it's been a transformation. I just really wish they weren't dressed like members of a heist crew from GTA Online. Whatever. I didn't pay attention to most of this because Hager and Jericho, what? Who wants to see this in 2022? So that was a hard pass. Santana and Ortiz eventually won. And I'm not really sure what was accomplished here. Post-match, Jericho hopped out the ring and got into a scuffle with Eddie Kingston. And it's like, what is the story here? Or Santana and Ortiz are frustrated members of the Inner Circle and want to branch out. I get that. How does Eddie Kingston's the one who influenced their rebellion? I don't fucking know. Suddenly, we cut, before any resolutions happened here, we cut back to the back. The Young Bucks, Cole, and Red Dragon, they're all just standing in a row unnaturally. I'm not sure what the fuck. They were talking about the tag team battle royals. So they just kind of showed their hand here, right? We're having a triple threat tag team match at Revolution, so the Young Bucks and Red Dragon could be the other two teams. That they just tipped their hand at what's going on here. So expect Red Dragon and or the Young Bucks to win next week's battle royal, and then the other team to win the other. This is fucking stupid. They can't book. Somebody can't book because none of this shit makes sense. So we cut back to the arena. Mercedes Martinez makes her entrance, complete with lead pipe in hand. Sensei Kreese is shown at ringside. He's front row, hanging out, like Cobra Kai senseis do. He's vested interest in this match. Apparently, Thunder Rosa was out next. She ran out with a steel chair, and Mercedes Martinez met her at the bottom of the ramp. They both swung their weapons. Thunder Rosa got the best. And then, so Thunder Rosa knocks Mercedes Martinez's lead pipe out of her hand. And then, did she hit Mercedes Martinez on the ass with the chair? Why? I'm not. So, they got in the ring and got the match started. And then this thing quickly became every other no DQ, lights out, Texas Death, anything goes match that this company puts out. They, same old. They fought into the crowd. They introduced a bunch of the same old weapons, trash cans, steel chairs, Kindle, whatever the hell. And they did a bunch of the same old shit. Now with women. It's just the same. At one point, Thunder Rosa pulled out a table from under the ring, and she just struggled with that table for ages. I don't know. She must have spent 40 minutes trying to set it up. I quit paying attention to this for a while. And when I woke from that coma, Thunder Rosa hit her, I don't know what she calls it, some kind of move on top of a pile of steel chairs, and she won. Pinned Mercedes Martinez. So, post-match, Thunder Rosa kind of acknowledged Mercedes Martinez and showed some kind of mutual respect out of nowhere. I guess, we had a hard-fought match. Now I respect you. I don't know. So, suddenly Britt Baker and her goons came out, right? They came out and they jumped Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez. And just left them both laying. So I guess now Mercedes Martinez is going to switch sides and team up with Thunder Rosa because mutual respect or whatever. Before you could really get into that moment, they quickly cut to some nonsensical video package in the House of Black. They were just saying words. Like, that is all I know. They were saying words and it got no point across. I was just like watching it and it was cryptic and they didn't outright say anything of note. I don't know. It seems like maybe they're adding a member or so. I don't know. It was just like, what is going on? After that, a bunch of other stuff happened that I didn't pay attention to. Next thing I paid attention to was main event. It's main event time. It's main event time. Darby Allin made his entrance. Sting had walked out with Darby onto the entrance stage, but then they fist bumped and Sting went to the back. He walked off and went to the back. Sammy Guevara was out second, and he still has 2 TNT Championship belts, and I don't know why. Tony Schiavone on commentary described the belts as the interim title and the TNT title. So which belt is this match for? JR commented, I don't know why he's carrying both of. He said, I don't know why he's carrying both of them. Like, you've got your credible old school announcer saying, yeah, I don't know why he's carrying both of them because no one does. Why does he have 2 of the same belt? And the other commentator is describing one as the interim belt. Why is it there? Why is it even there? Shouldn't the interim belt go away? Because whatever. The match got underway and they started off with a handshake, mutual respect. Then they just launched into a bunch of crazy shit. Just a bunch of crazy, dangerous sequences. They're trying to chase that high octane, exhilarating feel. Let's do a bunch of stuff. Let's jump around a bunch, fly all over the place, do whatever. And they did that for a bit. There was not a lot of psychology based. The one guy Sammy tried to, make us believe he hurt his knee partway through this thing, but it wasn't up to my standard of portraying. And like I said, they proceeded to do a bunch of stuff, and Sammy won after Andrade El Idolo interfered and hit this fucking guy, hit Darby Allin with an iPad mini. The fuck? An iPad mini that weighs less than a pound, and it's like getting smacked with a hardcover book. Probably not even that. Just this thin. Can you imagine, right? This thin. Like, it does not hurt. It doesn't hurt. Like, and anybody could pick one of these up and figure out that does not hurt. Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. What's going on? He hit Darby Allin with an iPad mini, and Darby Allin sold it like death, like he'd been hit, blistered across the head with a sledgehammer or a steel chair or an actual weapon. And then, Sammy just pulled him off the turnbuckle, hit his finish, and won. Post-match, Matt Hardy gingerly jogged down to the ring. He started attacking Darby Allin, and I'm just like, Matt Hardy? Oh, my God. This is the equivalent of having a main event match on SmackDown or Raw, right? And then after the match is over, Tamina runs down, and you're just like, nobody wants to see this. Nobody wants to see this. Matt Hardy comes out and just stinks out the joint. Like, I could see people in the people leaving. They're not even sticking around to see the Rampage taping. Matt Hardy's run them off. Matt Hardy comes down, starts attacking Darby Allin. Sammy rolls in to make the rescue. But then Andrade's there too, and he came in and hit Sammy in the back with his iPad mini. Hits Sammy in the back with his iPad mini. And these guys are acting as if they've been hit by a deadly weapon. Andrade hits Sammy in the back with the iPad mini that weighs less than a pound, and Sammy goes down. Oh, for the fuck's sake. Andrade held up the interim belt and the TNT belt, which both look the same. They're the same belt. One's a replica. There's no reason for two belts to be present, really. Then Sting came in with a baseball bat, and Andrade and Matt Hardy left. So, So the problem with AEW right now is a severe lack of quality control. Shit doesn't make sense from one segment to the next. They're not applying a uniform set of rules to each segment, right? Something will happen in one segment that contradicts what happens in another segment, right? It's like opening segment, rules apply. There's gravity. Security comes out when some heinous assault is going on. The next segment, there's no gravity. People are floating around. One guy's being murdered in the ring, and the announcers don't even act like it's a big deal. So it's just you're watching this thing, and it's like, oh no, like no logic, no sense detected. It's just God Almighty. In one segment, a supposed good guy attacks security guards for no reason, with no provocation. And like I said, none of the announcers even pretend like, hey, you shouldn't do that. Like, and it's like, why are Darby and Sammy selling the effects of being hit with an iPad mini? The thing weighs less than a pound, is designed thin on purpose to make it light. I'm trying to watch this shit and get into it, but it doesn't make a lick of sense, and that just is irritating. AEW, despite claiming to be this alternative, is too closely following this WWE playbook, right? When it comes to just being illogical and like just throwing up their hands and going, "Oh, we're a show. We're not putting on wrestling events that are also being broadcasted to the public." They're just throwing up and saying, "Oh, this is a written television show." So they're falling into that pitfall. I get that a lot of people currently working there came up watching the WWE product, so they might be conditioned that, oh, these things are okay and this is how it's supposed to be. But it's not. It's fucking not. I'm here to tell you, it's fucking not. Makes the wrestlers look stupid. For example, just simple things. When camera cuts backstage and 5 or 6 people are just standing in a row, all facing the same direction, they could possibly be interacting with each other. Nobody stands like that ever. So that's fucking stupid. You know, and it's just like, oh, there's a camera present. Let's all face that way and then talk at each other. It just looks stupid as fuck. AEW needs to realize they're not obligated to follow any of the WWE formula on how they format their shows or put their TV product together at all. They're just not. They could do something completely different, but I think because of laziness and conditioning, they're just like, oh, we'll just do what WWE has done. Whatever. They could be doing something completely new and original like they promised they would, but instead they're not being an alternative to WWE. They're being alternative WWE. They're being WWE with a different 3-letter acronym for the name and whatever. That was AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite from February 16th, 2022. Let me know what you thought of this episode of Dynamite in the comments below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so, and click that bell to enable notifications. It's the only way to be notified when a new video is uploaded. That is all I got for you on this episode. So until next time, I'm D'Lo Jordan, and this right here, this is VENUM.